Welcome to the Speak English with ASAL podcast.
Your journey to English fluency starts here.
I want to start with a very specific feeling. Have you ever felt like your English is just a little bit blurry?
Oh, yeah.
You know the words, right? You can see them on a page, but when you try to speak, they just don't click. It's like a camera that's just slightly out of focus.
That is a feeling every single language learner knows.
Yeah.
It's that gap between what you know in your head and what you can actually produce. I've heard it called the smart kid dumb tongue syndrome.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Inside your head, you're this brilliant philosopher, but what comes out is, me want food.
It's so frustrating. And today, we're zooming in on one specific piece of grammar that causes this brain freeze more than maybe any other. It's that infamous would have plus past participle.
And its cousin would have been.
And it's slightly more polite cousin, yes.
It's a mouthful just to say the name. It sounds like some kind of, math equation.
It really does. And for so many people, this is the wall. This is the intermediate plateau. But the sources we're looking at today, from language guides Aysel and Abdurrahman, they argue this isn't about grammar rule.
No, not at all. If you treat it like a rule book, you're going to hate it.
They say it's a tool for, believe it or not, emotional intelligence, for social connection.
That is such a crucial point. They're basically saying that mastering this one thing is the bridge. It's what takes you from being a B1 or B2 learner to someone who actually sounds, native.
From exchanging data to actually sharing your world.
Exactly.
So I guess our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to try and get past memorizing the formula. We need to unpack the feeling behind it, because if you can do that, you stop sounding cold and you start sounding, human.
That's the goal. Let's dismantle the robot.
Okay, let's do it. So the core concept. The source material points out that this is a weird tense. It's not really about the past, is it?
Not in the way we usually think about it, no. This is what you could call the imaginary past.
The imaginary past.
And that's what makes it so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Would have talks about a past possibility that did not happen.
It didn't happen. That's the key.
Right. It only exists in your mind. If I say, I ate breakfast, that's a fact. It happened. But if I say, I would have eaten breakfast, I'm describing a reality that never was. A ghost timeline.
A ghost timeline. I love that. That's a great way to visualize it. But it also explains the fog, You're not just remembering something, you're building a whole parallel universe in your head.
Exactly. And then you have what I call the verb stack.
The verb stack.
Yeah. I mean, look at it. You have would, which is already kind of abstract.
Yeah.
Then have. And then you throw a past participle on top. For a learner, that's just a traffic jam of words. They see that pile up and they just freeze.
It is intimidating. But the formula itself, it's actually pretty consistent, right?
That's the good news. The math never changes. It's always would plus have plus the past participle. Would have gone, would have seen, would have helped.
Okay, so let's ground this. The source gives this perfect example, moving day. I think we should walk through it because it really shows the layers.
Let's do it. Moving day is the perfect petri dish for this kind of emotion.
So the scenario. Your friend moved apartments yesterday. Awful day. Heavy boxes, stairs, misery. We've all been there.
The worst day of the year.
Always. And you're a good friend. You genuinely wanted to help. But you were sick, you had the flu, you couldn't get out of bed. You see him the next day. What do you say?
Well, using our structure, you'd say, I would have helped you, but I was sick.
I would have helped you. Okay, so the source says there are 3 layers of meaning packed into just that one little phrase. It's like code.
It's surprisingly dense. So first you're saying, I wanted to help. You're establishing your good intention.
Layer 1, I'm not a jerk.
Essentially, yeah. Layer 2 is reality. You're admitting, I didn't help. You're not denying the fact that they suffered alone with those boxes.
And layer 3.
Layer 3 is the reason, the excuse. It implies something stopped you. The sentence is basically, I wanted to help, I didn't help, and here's why.
All of that in just 4 words.
All of it.
Yeah.
And that's the power. It bridges the gap between your good intention and the unfortunate reality.
Which leads right into why this is so important for connection. Abdulrahman in the source, he calls this human language.
It really is. I mean, think about the alternative. Stick with moving day. What do you say if you only use the simple past? You just say, I didn't help you.
Oof. That's cold.
It's so cold. It's factual, but it sounds like a choice. It sounds like a rejection.
It sounds like a news headline. Local man fails to help friend.
Exactly. I didn't help. Kind of shuts the door. But I would have helped. Keeps the door open. It shares your regret. It says, I was on your team in spirit.
It's the grammar of empathy.
That's it, precisely.
There's another example in the source that really hit me because the stakes are even higher. Relationships. Forgetting a birthday.
Oh, high stakes indeed. That's a friendship ender right there.
Right. So you forget a close friend's birthday. You feel awful if you just say, I didn't call you. I mean,
That's just going to hurt their feelings. It implies you just didn't care enough to remember.
but if you say, I would have called you, but I lost my phone, or I was in the hospital, the whole story flips.
They're not a bad friend anymore. You're just a victim of circumstance.
It's like a linguistic get out of jail free card.
To a point, yeah. But it works because we judge people on their intentions, you know? This grammar lets you show that your heart was in the right place.
And it works professionally too. The job interview example.
Yes, this is so practical. So you come out of an interview, you know you just bombed it, you were nervous, you forgot everything,
We've all been there. It's a nightmare.
and you're talking to a mentor about it. If you say, I answered badly, you're basically labeling yourself as incompetent.
You're saying, this is who I am. I'm bad at this.
Exactly. But if you say, I would have answered better, but I was so nervous, you're protecting your competence. You're saying the ability is there. It was just the condition that blocked it.
That's such a subtle but huge psychological shift. You're defining yourself by your potential, not that one bad moment.
And that's why learners need this. It allows for nuance.
Yeah.
If you only speak in the simple past, I did, I didn't, it's a very black and white world.
Okay, I love that. So let's pivot just a little bit. There's a variation here. Would have been.
Ah, yes. The descriptive version.
This feels less about our actions and more about what situations.
Correct. It's how a situation could have felt or what it could have been like.
The source material calls this a tool for social grace. Why is it so polite?
Think about how you give bad news or feedback, especially in, say, American or British culture. Being too direct can sound really aggressive. This softens the blow.
Give me an example.
Okay, so a coworker gives you a report, but it's 3 days late.
So I'm annoyed. It's useless to me now.
Right. You could say, this is useless. You should have told me earlier.
Yeah, that's definitely going to start a fight. It's an attack.
It is. But if you say, it would have been easier if you had told me earlier.
It would have been easier.
See the difference?
It's so much lighter.
You're not attacking them. You're describing a hypothetical, better world. You're expressing disappointment, sure, but it's indirect. It removes the finger pointing.
It's like wrapping a brick in velvet.
That is a very vivid way to put it. But yes, culturally, that indirectness is valued. It would have been better if we had prepared more. It sounds like a leader analyzing. We didn't prepare enough. Just sounds like a complaint.
Okay, so it's a social superpower, but we have to talk about how to actually build it. The source highlights some really common traps.
This is where the fog really rolls in. It's so easy to get tangled up.
The first one is the incomplete thought.
Oh, this is a classic. A learner says, yesterday, I would have gone to the market. And then just silence.
They just stop.
And the listener's just standing there waiting. Because would have creates an expectation. It implies a but. My brain is screaming, but what? But it rained? But you were tired.
So the rule is you pretty much always need the but.
You need to complete the thought. I would have gone, but it was raining. That closes the loop.
Right. Okay. Trap number 2 is the missing have. This seems like a panic move.
Oh, yeah. The source points out the I would joined mistake.
I hear that all the time. It's like they know a past tense is involved, so they just smash would and the verb together.
I think it comes from how native speakers talk. We speak fast. We contract would have to would.
I would have.
And to a learner's ear, would sounds like would have or even just woulda. I would have gone.
Yeah.
So they try to copy that and just delete the have completely.
But you can't do that, can you?
Grammatically, it's fatal. It breaks everything. You have to have the have. I would have joined. Even if it's just a tiny little I sound, it has to be there.
Okay, don't drop the have. The third trap is a bit more subtle. Time confusion.
This is where the meaning gets really twisted. The example is, I would exercise more, but I was tired.
I would exercise more, but I was tired. That sounds almost right.
Almost. But I would exercise sounds like a general habit. It's present or future. But the was tired part is clearly in the past. It creates a little timeline glitch for the listener.
You're mixing tenses.
Exactly. To fix it, you have to push the whole first part into the imaginary past. I would have exercised more. That locks the regret into that specific past moment.
Got it. Okay, so to recap that meaning check, from the source because this is just brilliant. If I say I didn't help, it's a fact.
Just a fact.
I couldn't help. That's an ability. I wouldn't help. That's refusal. You're being a jerk. But I would have helped.
Willingness plus an obstacle. That's the magic formula.
Willingness plus an obstacle. I am tattooing that on my brain.
It's the formula for forgiveness.
So now let's go to the advanced class. The source brings up some phrases that just make you sound incredibly natural. One of them is, it slipped my mind.
This is a great one. It's so much better than just saying, I forgot.
I forgot. It's so blunt, isn't it? Why didn't you call? I forgot.
It sounds a little careless, a little irresponsible.
But if you combine it with our grammar, oh, I would have told you, but it completely slipped my mind.
It sounds so much more adult, sophisticated.
It does.
It suggests the intention was there, but the information just kind of
Yeah.
floated away for a second. It's a much softer way to admit a mistake.
And then there's the if connection. We can't really talk about would've without if.
They're best friends. The Batman and Robin of grammar, if, sets up that ghost timeline we talked about. If I had known about the sale, I would have bought more clothes.
If I had joined the meeting, it would have been easier.
Precisely. This is the third conditional for anyone who wants the technical term. And the expert in the source makes this great point about why B1, B2 learners should love this structure, not run away from it.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Because it's a high ROI structure,
Sure.
high return on investment.
Oh, so?
Well, think about it. In one sentence, you're showing cause and effect, a hypothetical past, and regret. You sound incredibly smart and complex. You sound like you're actually thinking in English.
And the pattern is always the same.
It's always the same. Once you get that rhythm,
Yeah.
if I had done X, I would have done Y. You could just plug in new words.
Yeah.
It instantly elevates your speech.
It's a shortcut to sounding fluent.
It really is.
Okay, so wrapping this up. What does this all mean for someone listening who gets the theory, but their mouth just won't cooperate?
Well, the whole point here was to move from rules to feelings. I think the key takeaway is to stop treating this like a math problem.
Right. Stop counting the verbs.
It's the grammar of intention.
I like that.
When you're talking, just focus on what you want the other person to feel. Do you want them to know you cared? That you wanted to be there? If the answer is yes, then would have is really the only tool that does that job. You're not doing it for a grammar test. You're doing it to save a relationship.
And what's the practical advice? The source said something about listening to the music before you learn the lyrics.
Yes, don't try to force this into a conversation tomorrow. Just start noticing it. Watch a movie, listen to an interview. You will hear it constantly. I would have done this, it would have been that.
It's everywhere once you tune your ear to it.
Exactly. And once you start hearing the emotion behind it, the regret, the politeness, the excuse, it gets so much easier to mimic. You'll hear that would rhythm naturally.
So it's about tuning your ear to the frequency of the imaginary past.
I think so.
Eh.
And here's a final thought for you to really chew on. We talked about how I didn't can sound so cold.
Yeah.
I want you to think about your own conversations. How often do you come across as maybe cold or direct or even uncaring just because you're sticking to that simple past tense?
Wow. That's a heavy question.
How many times have you said, I didn't do it, when what you really meant was, I would have done it, but? I mean, is your grammar accidentally misrepresenting your personality?
Are you being a jerk by mistake just because you're avoiding a tricky sentence?
It's entirely possible. Your grammar is your interface with the world. And if that interface is too simple, the world only gets a simplified version of you. They don't see the complex, caring person underneath.
Well, I can't think of a better reason to practice than that. We want the world to see the full, complex, empathetic you.
Absolutely.
So let that brain unfreeze, start listening for the would-haves, and remember, it's not just grammar, it's empathy. Thanks for diving in with us.
My pleasure.
See you next time on The Deep Dive.